Hello, everybody. Welcome to NAREB's Realtist Creating Pathways to Home Ownership. I'm one of your wonderful hosts, and I have these other two wonderful, awesome people with me, Mr. Chris Ziegler and the Lone Lioness, Rhonda Hutchison. But we'll introduce ourselves real quick. First of all, hello, Miss Laura Washington, our wonderful president. Thank you for allowing us to use this platform to inspire and educate. I'm Roz Booker, principal broker, CEO of Our Brook Realty. We're a full service real estate company here in Collin County. We birth dreams and build legacies in real estate. Also, the director of our 501c3, Our Brook Cares. And we just help renters become homeowners, and we want to collab with community partners alike that have that same vision. If you need to reach me, my phone number is 972-996-4702. And drum roll, Miss Rhonda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhonda Hutchison, and I'm a residential mortgage lender, and I'm powered by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, and I am known as the Lone Lioness, meaning I roar with power and passion in getting the job done when it comes to residential lending. But I'm excited to be here with my partners in crime, and I would say looking forward to the show and what we have to share. If you have any questions in regards to residential mortgage, you have any questions whatsoever, you're ready to purchase now, looking to purchase in the future, being prepared, give me a call at 214-856-3747. Once again, my number is 214-856-3747. Mr. Chris.
Hey, what's going on? Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Chris Ziegler with the Ziegler Agency Allstate, located in Frisco, Texas, serving the DFW Metroplex in the whole state of Texas. And like Roz said a few minutes ago, she's trying to turn renters into homeowners. And I'm the one who can take care of your renters' needs until you become a homeowner, or vice versa.
Right.
Because sometimes you might be selling a home and you might end up needing renters insurance. So, hey, reach out to me if you have any homeowners or renters needs at 214-870-4269. And I do a lot more than that as well. You know, I do auto and I do commercial and I do financial products as well. But you give me a call once again at 214-870-4269 so we can discuss these things so we can protect all your assets, meaning yourself and your property.
All right, then.
That's right. So, guys, we've had some awesome discussion here. We recently had Marcus Hill, the appraiser, talking about, just debunking the myths and the fallacies about how the appraisal works. We're going to kind of piggyback off of some conversations we had with him, as well as there was another recent appraiser that came and shared with NAREB that had some very interesting information to share. But we just really want to continue the topic of what is going on in our market. And, we always have to be at the forefront of change so that we know how to pivot and adapt and better serve not only our clients, but us as professionals so that we can navigate these new times. So, Rhonda, you and I actually were having a discussion about, goodness, all of these years for real estate professionals, we had kind of been taught that price per square footage is really what matters when we're doing our BPOs or brokers opinion of values or CMAs for our client, to better serve sellers and helping them price their home. And I think what we have done is kind of set up an animal here that needs to be tamed, because price per square footage is really not the first and foremost thing that an appraiser looks at. According to Mr. Hill, they kind of bag into that information. And so what are some of the other things you feel, Rhonda, as a lender, kind of intrigued your ear about the appraisal discussion?
And Rhonda, before you answer, Rhonda, go ahead and pray us in.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. But thank you, Chris, for that. Hey, Father God, first of all, we just want to come to say thank you. Just thank you for allowing us another day, the opportunity to do what we do and what is being guided by you. being able to help others, get them into homes, be able to gain generational wealth through real estate, and being a vessel, Lord. And we just want to just say thank you, giving us our strength and our health to be able to move forward in doing your will, Lord. We just ask that you protect all of us within whomever that's listening to us in this broadcast, whomever that we're touching, Lord. We're just asking you to bless them in a special way. And also bless this show today, Lord, that whatever that we're putting out forth, that it will be clear information, to be information that they can use, and information that's going to make a difference in whatever their decision in their lives. All these blessings and all these things I'm asking in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Y'all some praying folks. That was beautiful.
But yeah, you're right, because we think about, okay, square footage, that we're going to find all the comparables that have the square footage and we're going to be good, but it's not just square footage. It's comparable price. And what is comparable to the home that's contractual? We're talking about, do it
Yeah.
have, and I don't want to say a swimming pool, because when you do a swimming pool, you're going to have to find another home that has a swimming pool, because you're going to have
Right.
to have those to compare the price. So it's not just comparable. It's also the condition of the home.
Yeah.
If there's been any upkeep, have there been any additions? What can I compare to get a fair market value what's out there? And I know one of the things that we also talk about is that the radius of, and I found this out too, that's very interesting, is that, we've heard that you can't go out within 1 mile of when you're looking for the comparables. But if you can't find a comparable within that, there's no rule to say you have to go. What I've learned, there's no FHA rule to say you have to go within 1 mile, that you can go outside of that radius if you're looking for a comparable. But however, if it's best if you can find that comparable within that 1 mile, to use those comparables to be able to, like you said, be able to say, okay, this home is worth this amount sales price.
It's funny too. One thing about what uh, Marcus Hill said and Mr. Wilmer said, they were pretty consistent as well. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it depends on which area you're in as well
Mm-hmm.
too, because
Mm-hmm.
I think we had some people on the call from, I guess, from another state. You're from your hometown. So somebody that was a lady from Memphis that was on
Uh-huh.
there.
Yes.
And she was
Yes.
talking about that, and he was mentioning that, and she said, well, the rules in that area were not consistent for what they were supposed to be in other areas. I think she said the rural areas sometimes they gave a little bit more leniency, but
Mm-hmm. That's true.
she kind of alluded to, I guess, too, that maybe in certain demographics that they were trying to be a little impartial. Well, not impartial, being partial, I guess, on how they would do it in certain areas of color. That she made a
Mm-hmm.
differentiation for where they were being more stringent in those areas. So, and that's one thing I think was important about having an organization like NAREB, is that's what we're out there trying to fight the good fight, to make sure we have equity and quality out there. Because with these appraisals, and unfortunately, we were talking about that too. You guys know about being in real estate, sometimes your hue might make a difference of where somebody wants to buy your house or not, or what they're willing to give you as opposed to some of your counterparts. So I know Roz and you're familiar with that as well. And I think we've all experienced that too in the buying and selling of homes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And one of the other things, definitely in equipping our sellers, if we're representing sellers as a listing agent, you know, as a homeowner, we always take pride and put a lot of pride in keeping our home up, such
Mm-hmm.
as cleaning ducts, such as, making sure our HVAC is clean, replacing, hot water heaters, just a lot of those mechanical items.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I want people to understand, when a buyer comes to purchase your home, their expectation is that those mechanical items be working in good working order. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times homeowners who spent quite a bit of money updating and preparing, their HVAC, that doesn't always dollar for dollar equate market value, because the expectation is that those mechanical things are already there and in good working order. So I really just wanted to make that clear, and to kind of help agents educate their sellers that no, you have to put this in good working order. And it may not mean that you, just because you spent $1,500 getting your ducts clean, that an appraiser is going to say, wow, let me add $1,500 onto this value because you clean your AC. It doesn't work like that.
That's true. And then
Yeah.
also one of the things that Mr. Wimbush, and we had the NAREB and we had the meeting and he was on it. He was just saying, just because you have put in a swimming pool does not mean you're going to be, that value of going to increase substantially if the comparables in that neighborhood with swimming pools don't compare. So you
Right.
can spend $40,000 on a swimming pool, but you may not get all of that back in a sales price if the comparables do not support that. So you have to do your homework. Say, okay, if you're going to get a swimming pool, what's the comparables in my area that have swimming pools? So you need to do a lot of your investigation up front. Be proactive versus reactive because it may not be a substantial gain. Now, if you want to do it for recreational purposes, you want a swimming pool because your family, you want to enjoy it, that's something different. But if you're looking for, if I sell my home, how much will I get in, back in the sales price? That may be something you want to take into consideration. Is that okay? What are the comparables in my area for those who have swimming pools?
I want to piggyback off what Rod said. I'm going to circle back to what she said a few minutes ago when she was talking about keeping your HVAC, the mechanical stuff, your roof of your home. A lot of stuff that she said is very important in the insurance game, especially with homeowners insurance, because a lot of those things we look at as well. A lot of companies look at those different things. I know some companies say they look at how old the water heater is, how old the roof is, and things of that magnitude. And sometimes some of those things that I have to snuff that can impact whether or not you will get insurance, because if those things are out of whack, depending on the company, it can be different for different companies, but a lot of times those different variables do play an impact in that, might prevent you from getting home insurance until you get those things rectified. And then sometimes, when people know about auto insurance, they see, have the county mutual, you don't fit the criteria of the main company. Sometimes, some of these insurance companies have that as well. If you can't meet the criteria of the main company, they might have to use a alternative company for you to get in so you get those things done in certain cases. And it just depends. And sometimes those situations can be a case where it might cost more. And then two, it by being costing more, it might be a situation, it might, once again, what me and Rhonda have dealt with, it might affect your DTI, your debt to income ratio as well. So people will say, what does the insurance have to do with mortgages? And we'll say all these things are intertwined. And, working with these ladies, we sometimes we share mutual clients, or we just kind of bounce things off each other about certain situations. And so we consult with one another. And those are the kind of things that we deal with on a daily, weekly basis.
Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely.
Right. That is right. One of the things that I am seeing in the industry, as we mentioned before, is those prices are coming down. Those prices are coming down. I would not say that we're crashing at all. I've always said it. Texas is just a different animal. I mean, we still have employers that can't find people to take jobs. So being a leader in job creation, right? Being a leader in job creation and still having 50% less the inventory that we had year over year still produces a good problem. But what we are seeing is, sellers are becoming a little bit more flexible. Maybe you're not up against 50 other people, maybe just 10. Uh, but yeah, we are seeing home buyers get under contract a lot more quicker than in the heat of things. So I think that is very hopeful for those who want to buy. So for agents and those who may come back and listen to this replay, if you're in the market to buy, if the question is now a good time to buy? I'm going to always tell you, look, if it's your time to buy, it's your time to buy. Can't nothing, not even the hike in the interest rates. But let me just say this, in the last 7 days, we got 3 people under contract. And I wouldn't say it's been pain free, but I can definitely see the temperature in the market changing. Rhonda,
Yep.
what do you?
Oh yes, most definitely. And I want to say this, and you made this point, but I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna purchase you're going to buy. You're either going to buy somebody else's or your own. So you have a choice. You know, you can buy somebody else's home and pay rent, or you can buy your own. So you still have two choices. But you're right, Roz. I actually received a contract last week that actually had a seller's credit.
Oh wow. Look at here.
Yes.
Check it
So
out.
when we say that the market is correcting itself, yeah, I know the interest rates are higher, but that when I saw that, I said, "Are you serious?" I don't remember last time I saw a
We,
seller's credit. You know?
we know market will be changing when we start to see that.
Yes.
And actually, I actually had a contract executed with a $4,500 seller credit.
So you told you, and
Hmm.
that's when you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's when you know when
The
you see those
buyer's
kind of.
market? No, not yet. No.
No. No. No.
I got a question for both of you ladies. Now, this I've been seeing with a few of my customers, and can be potentially problematic for some others as well because the interest rates have gone up. I know with some of these homes being pushed back, and I've seen a couple of customers tell me they're kind of getting worried right now because with them pushing it back and eventually going up. In fact, actually, one customer actually had to regroup and couldn't get the house they wanted because once those interest rates went up because the house was taking so long to be built, it kind of knocked them out of the ballpark for that particular home. So they kind of back out there looking again. Rhonda, have you seen that in your situation? And then the same question for you, Rhonda, have you seen that in a effective situation in you guys' eyes?
Absolutely. And as a
I
lender, we have to be
this
creative.
happen. I'll
So
let
I'm
you
sorry.
go. Rhonda, I'll let you go first.
Yeah,
She's
and
already going. He's
I've
going
actually
so.
seen that, and as a lender, you want to do everything that you can. Shut up, Chris. To
always,
make, huh?
always instigating.
Yeah, I know it. Always instigating. Like they say, you don't want none of this. But you're right. As a lender, I have seen that where when when initially went under contract, the interest rates may have been in the high fours or maybe five by that time, and now you're looking at interest rates are in the six, and it is those when you've already had that debt to income ratio that was really tight, going over to a 6% is going to really knock you out the ballpark unless you can become and that's the lender's job, and maybe before we make that exit to try to find some kind of creative ways to make sure that the deal can be done. As a matter of fact, I have someone that I'm working with now. We're getting ready to, their home is not going to be due until, was supposed to be done, finished in August, but they moved it to September the 15th. So now we're going in and I'm doing what we
Mhm.
can do as a lender credit, so trying to help them be able to buy the rate down and maybe give some lender credit as well as go ahead and lock that rate in now. Even though we're almost 60 days out, 45 days out, then we're going to go ahead and lock the rate. So we just have to be proactive, creative, and make sure that we can do everything possible for the customer or the borrower before they just walk away from the home.
Right. So here are some solutions.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to need some cash, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you're going to play in the game, you're going to need some cash. So, Rhonda, would you talk about the rules of how people can borrow from their 401k? Because I've had some people really come to me and say, well, I know I cannot borrow from my 401k because of this, and this, and this. And I'm like, no, several people are borrowing from their 401k. So overall, high level, what's the rules about that for home ownership?
Yeah, you can borrow for your 401k. The best thing to do, and the best option, if you can actually withdraw, and because they will allow you to withdraw without any penalty. Most 401ks will, especially if you're purchasing a home, they will allow you to do that. But you can borrow from your 401k and have a deduction coming out of your check as long as it's not going to decrease your income tremendously by having that monthly debt coming out. So you just have to be careful. That's why I always say is if you can do a hardship withdrawal without any penalty, that's the best option to go. But you can take a payment alone, we can say against your 401k, but it needs to be deducted, and your debt to income have to be able to support it.
I was going to tell you one thing too, from an insurance standpoint too. And you said being creative, but I always caution people too when they're looking for insurance to be careful. And because the most important thing is the coverages, because sometimes people look at the price. Don't get me wrong, I know price is important, but coverage I think are even more important than price, because if you get something for a lesser price but it's not what you need, that can be problematic. And like I said, being here in Texas, you have to be really careful because, like I said, the weather can change on the dime.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you before, I have the autonomy to actually go up to a 5% deductible. But personally, I won't do that because I know the trepidation and what could potentially happen if something were to go wrong. And I've actually seen that happen where, you know, somebody get a house today and, the next day the weather changes. I've given you examples in the past about that where tornadoes come through or a hailstorm has come through. And you don't want to be in a situation where that happens because, you know, like I said, they say slim to none, but
Uh-huh.
it can be a little close
It
to
can happen.
slim to none around here
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So you know how the weather in Texas can be; it can change on a dime. And
Correct.
you said, I've said before, and Roz has said also, our goal is not only to get you in the house, is to keep you in that house. And I don't want to see anybody be in any kind of financial trepidation or a situation where they weren't prepared for that. They try to get into that house, they went with that high deductible, the storm comes through, and then you have this ridiculous, deductible, and then you can't get your home fixed like it needs to be fixed, or you don't have the proper coverages. Like you see one of these, traumatic situations where there might be a fire, or tornado, hailstorm, or something goes wrong, or a hurricane, and then something happens to a person's home, and then the next thing you know, they didn't have the right coverages. And my philosophy is I'm gonna give you what you need, not what you want. And if you don't want to accept what you need from me, I'm not going to give you what you want. I also actually literally suggest it in a friendly way. And so you might want to research other opportunities out there, because I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to be a person. I like to sleep good at night. And I don't want to be in a
Mm-hmm.
situation where I put somebody in a predicament that, cause them to be in a situation where an adverse situation is, going to be problematic from a financial and a psychological standpoint as well. But you have some people out there, like I said, you got to be careful. I give you a case in point. I was dealing with a potential customer just recently, and she was talking about that, her mother had passed and everything, but the mother didn't have a will. And she said, "Chris, can you write an insurance policy for me?" I said, "No. If you're not in the will, you don't have some kind of legal. In fact, you and I talked about this, Rhonda.
Yeah.
We bounce this off each other, and I got the answer that we needed for it. I said, if you're in a situation, if you're not on there, I did my research. And I have one of my fraternity brothers who's an attorney, and he said you need to get an airship affidavit.
Right. Right.
And I wasn't gonna write that policy. Exactly.
Right.
I was gonna write the policy. But she called me back a little bit, maybe the very 2 days later, she said, "Chris," she said, "somebody wrote the policy." I said, "Like I told you 2 days ago, somebody can write that policy for you. However, if something were to go wrong, there's a strong possibility the insurance company, whoever the insurance company may be, won't pay for it because you're not a legal representative of that property." So I told you before, I said, somebody's going to write it. And some people, I don't say necessarily unscrupulous. Sometimes they might not be knowledgeable and didn't know what the situation or parameters may be. But some people are so quick to try to sell something that they'll do anything. Or some people just don't know. And me, I was pretty positive. I got, a concrete answer. Like I told her, I'm a consultant, not a salesperson. And that's what I told her. You got to be careful in situations like that. And I said, you might want to revisit and get those legal documents that you need in order to make sure that policy is going to be intact in a proper manner.
Exactly. And then you have to always do what's right ethically. You can't just do something for the main dollar, and
Right.
it comes back, you're number one, you're making sure that you're not putting yourself and your name, your reputation, and your license
Exactly.
on the line. And then also you want to do what's right for the borrower or the customer, because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, it is our responsibility to make sure we do what's right in the best interest of our customers. So,
That
like you said, if somebody else want to take that chance, let them go for it. Because
Yep.
and I know Ross probably know, and I know as well. It's many times that we step away from something because we know it's not the right thing to
Mm-hmm.
do, and we have to
right,
and that's why we're professionals.
Exactly.
right. And as a real estate professional, I really lean heavily on my team. Like Chris, you're licensed and an expert in your field. I know enough to be dangerous, but I don't know everything. Rhonda, likewise, because we have to have enough knowledge
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to be able to direct our client. But at the end of the day, for me, if we come to either of you guys and ask what is your professional opinion that would put
Uh-huh.
our client in the best position to either win the offer, um, put them in the best light. The expectation is that you're going to tell us the truth, not so that you can get the deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Right.
put the buyer in jeopardy of either losing their earnest money, etc. Um, and let me just say, integrity is utmost important, and I really heavily rely on great team members like yourself. Case in point, definitely won't mention any names, but there was a specific lender who had challenged us to remove a certain number of days in that third party financing addendum,
And it
and come
wasn't.
to it,
It wasn't me.
but after the contract was executed, we began to dig a little bit deeper and further about, okay, what is your process? How does this work? How does this number of days, work in here for you as a lender? Your process is much better than I do. Is the number of days that you told us to reduce this number to actually feasible? And it ended up being the answer is no. We cannot get this loan actually approved in these amount of days. And I asked, well, why would you tell the listing agent, our client, and me that if it's something you could not do? Because what you have done is just jeopardize our client's earnest money. Now,
Mhm.
that's huge to me.
Wow.
You know that that, that that's super huge to me. So, again, what is the point? What is the takeaway? As team members, we really rely on our other team members in their lane and their expertise,
Mm-hmm.
because we're negotiating contracts. We're trying to get our clients the best deal. And when we're given incorrect information, and no, it was neither of you, you are potentially putting everybody on the line, not only for failure, but a possible lawsuit,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
us in media. So,
Yeah.
look, no
Exactly.
is worth undercutting like that. Let's
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
do it the right way with integrity. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but,
And you're right. And
go
I know
ahead,
we kind
Rhonda.
of had a conversation just a teeny bit about that because you just wanted to know, wanted to get a little background. But like I told you, I'd rather tell you it's going to take me 45 days to close a loan and have some kind of expectation on it close it in 15 days. So it's like you said, I'd rather not put a jeopardize the contract, the borrower's earnest money,
Mm-hmm.
the seller's expectations that you already know it's not going to be met, because at the end of the day, our job is to look out for our clients and whomever is involved in the transaction.
Rhonda, let's talk about the loan process typically. What is the quickest number of days from contract execution to close? Can you close? Does it matter what's in your pipeline at any given time, or how many people you have on staff? What are the guidelines? What are the parameters for getting a loan closed quickly? What's a quick close?
Application date 7 days, and that's when, and typically that's where you already have an appraisal that's being transferred from one lender to the next, because we know typically you can't get that a return and appraisal now within that time frame to go to underwriting, and also getting approved without that. So 7 days.
And what kind of underwriting you said?
Huh?
You said ghost?
No, I say go through
Oh,
under.
oh, oh, oh.
No, go through underwriting,
Okay.
appraisal, the whole process.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I thought you were throwing a new term. I'm like, wait a minute. That's
Yeah.
catch me off guard on that one.
No,
So
so typically
that
7 days.
that's extreme. That is the extreme, and that's very, very quick. Do you
Mhm.
have a more typical number of days? Because what most often I put there is 21
20,
days.
yeah, 21 days is would be the least amount of days that I will put, because you just think about things happen. It could be where a borrower may have a situation that arises where maybe something showed up on their credit report, or maybe in a divorce in the past where there was a property that is now still showing under the borrower's name that may have been settled in a divorce, and they are no longer required or legally required to everything has been released on that property, but it may be still showing under their name, and there's an explanation. You have to provide the divorce decree. So there's all things that can come up. I've had where a collection account had come up at the last minute. They had no idea about, that it's here, it popped up at closing. And so those are things that you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to get it paid or including your closing costs. You have to provide documentation of the amount. So all of those things that come up at the last minute, that's just how it works. You just have to expect that. So that's why I would not write a contract with less than 21 days.
I'm going to kind of chime in on that too. From an insurance standpoint, like I said, I work closely with realtors and mortgage people. And it's like today, in fact, just before this call started, and after I get off this call, you have to do your vetting on who you're dealing with. Your mortgage company, your real estate people, anybody that you're dealing with, you need to vet those people. What I mean by vetting, make sure you know their reputation. Do they have integrity? And are they going to take care of business? Because, one thing I'm running into now, like I said, as soon as I get off this call, I'm about to try to correct some stuff, because the mortgage person, they're not talking to each other inside their own, within their own company. And the lady's asked me for something. I said, well, I sent that information already twice. Well, she didn't get back to me. So, I'm trying. I said, it'd probably be easier for you just to reach out to that person. I said, don't worry about it. So I can get you squared away. I said, I got a call to get on. As soon as I get through, I can get you squared away. But they're not talking internally about what needs to be done. But the fact that they are not talking internally, and I'm glad I caught it quick enough, I'm going to actually reach out to them about certain things for them to try to get some stuff rectified, because if I didn't reach out to them, it could have affected their insurance policy, because the mortgage company was lacking on communicating within the company and getting the paperwork needed to be done, that I needed to get what I need to be done to be beneficial for the customer. So once again, vet the company that you're working with, just to make sure they're going to have your best interest. And not they don't have your best interest, but making sure they're diligent and understand the dynamic of what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Time is key.
Now, this is scary. I don't know if Roz is frozen or she just really just listening. I know
this
is
really
Roz chiming in and saying something.
Yeah, she's doing like this. She said, yeah, I think we're having a little technical difficulties on Raw's end. But that's why it's great, number one, to be able to have partners like ourselves, to be able to link arms together and have that, one thing, in trusted value, to know that we're going to do the right thing, and that we can count on each other to do the right thing and be proactive and not just reactive on all the situations that occur. It's making sure that we have the best interest of each other and our clients. And so tell me, Chris, I know Ross will be back, and I just have a question for you, and I know how your integrity is high. But just say, for instance, I know this in market, like I'm dealing with a borrower now that the interest rate has gone up. And what they're now qualifying for new construction is they're no longer qualifying based on the debt to income ratio due to increase in interest rates. How do you handle that situation when I know you're not going to go up to a 5% deductible, but what are maybe some of the things that you may be doing to help that borrower maybe get to the point where they don't have to exit the contract?
Well, I look at different things. Look at the deductibles and things of that magnitude, and just kind of look at the policy as a whole to see where it needs to be. I know a lot of companies, they have algorithms they use in order to get what we call like a cost estimator. And what that system does is they use some kind of algorithm. I don't know, get your bean counters and your actuaries who deal with that kind of stuff, but it's pretty accurate. It lets you know about, how much it would cost to rebuild a home and things of that magnitude. And see, that's what's very important too. And I'm going to kind of mention something else as well. We're talking about appraisals. And people have to tell people it's the difference between appraisals and market value. And that's one thing I have to really explain to people, because people are like, why is my house, it said these be replacement cost is this and I paid this. or it's lower than that, or vice versa. Why is it so high when I paid less for the house? And I got to tell people too. I say it depends on where you get your home and
The area.
location in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, sometimes I know some of the homes in Collin County are probably, depending on the home builder, are probably like $200,000 more than the homes in, I think like a Kaufman County, So that's what I tell people. And that's why I like to have these discussions, like you said, even on the front end. People always, I say, we're the bastard child of the home buying process. People always try to look at the insurance at the very end. But you need to be talking to us at the very beginning so we can kind of start explaining things that we're talking about now on the front end about costs and how things will be from that standpoint, because, that can make it, a difference where somebody is. I've had customers sometimes might look in a certain area and then they'll make an audible or switch and go to a different area, because they said they know the rates might be better for them from a financial conducive standpoint. So on the front end, I like to have those conversations with people right off the bat so we can run those numbers so they can have an idea, and that kind of helps the realtor and the mortgage person kind of be able to navigate where they're going to go with that person. Now let's fast forward. We get on the back end, and I'm on the back end when they probably should have been at the beginning. We're at the end and we're trying to figure that out. But then it might be a situation where I can look at maybe like a deductible or something like that makes sense, because I don't want to put anybody in harm's way to where it's not going to be feasible and make sense for them. Once again, I sound like a broken record. My goal is to get you in the house and keep you in the house. And me personally, if I don't think I can meet the numbers where they need to be, and I don't think it's going to be the right thing from a professional standpoint, and I'm not going to do it, I'll just suggest, I can't do it. Somebody else will do it, but I tell them be careful because, you don't ever want to deprive anybody of their home buying dream. But with that being said, you don't want them to be in a situation where they get hurt. And I've actually even advised people sometimes, but just kind of threw it out there and said, you might want to talk to your people to make sure, you're going in the right direction. Because I have seen that happen too. You mentioned on the call before, I think, where you had a customer that, I don't know if it was you or not, but you didn't write them, or you didn't do the mortgage with them, but they went to somebody else. They did it. And they call you on the back end because everything went sideways, and help me, because they were kind of trying to throw the mud not back in your face, but throw the mud in your face. Like, look at me now. They did it. You didn't. The person who did it for them got them in there, but then they were in trouble. Then they came back to you, Ron, like, what can I do? There wasn't nothing you could do because you told them don't do it in the first place. Sometimes it might behoove you sometimes not to try to deprive you of your dream or keep you from getting where you need to go, but keep that dream alive. Don't let that dream turn into a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. You're exactly right. And you're right. I've had those instances where they come back and say, it didn't work, and now I'm no longer qualified, and sometimes it's like sometimes we just don't listen. But we do what we can to help them, not just to say that, okay, you left me and now you're coming back with me like a bad marriage or something like that. but you try to help how you can, but then sometimes your hands are tied. And if we would have worked this through that at the very beginning, then you possibly wouldn't have been in that situation. You're just gonna say something, Ross. I'm sorry.
Oh no! Thank y'all for working with me through.
Ross, we knew you must have been frozen because we said Ross can't be quiet this long without saying
Having technical difficulties this morning, but we're pressing through.
Oh yeah, we're pressing through.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We're here to just provide insight and nuggets and those pearls that can help serve our client first and foremost with the utmost integrity. Because I know for me, I have to sleep at night. It's you gotta sleep at night. Hey, what are some of the things we got going on in NAREB? Chris, you're our historian and all of that. Keep up with the announcements. What do we have coming up?
Well, like I said, the thing is, I'm actually right now I'm working in conjunction with another organization. Well, it's actually a barbershop in the Frisco area where we're going to be getting back to school products together and stuff like that. So I'm going to be reaching out to the NAREB members and to the community to help out with that. So I'm kind of piggybacking off what he's doing. I was going to do my own thing, but since he said he had something already in progress and in place, there's no need of me reinventing the wheel. So I'm going to forward that information onto the NAREB group and to Facebook and Instagram, and all the
Those
other
social media
grams.
platforms.
I don't do the TikTok, but I barely do the Instagram. But I want to make sure I get to somebody who can do all that stuff so we can get that out there. Because with that being said, school's right around the corner, and kids need these back to school products and supplies and things like that. So whatever we can do to kind of help, with that initiative, I'm going to really be, working for that diligently on that as well. And then of course we do have the, in fact, it's next week. The national conference for NAREB is going to be in Tampa, the birthplace of NAREB. Since 1947. We've been in existence, so they're going to have the big meeting there, and it's going to be the big celebration for that. And I hear it's going to be a power pack meeting. I think they saw the hotels are booked out. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go because I have some other things going on right now. But I know it's going to be really exciting. I've never been to a national convention, but that's going to be on my radar. Hopefully next year, because I heard it's dynamic. And one thing you find out, they said when you go, we kind of do it from a local and from a state standpoint, but they said when you go to one of those national meetings, it takes us to a whole different level and it puts a whole different perspective on it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that come down the pike here real soon.
Yes. The dates are August the 1st to the 6th in Tampa, Florida. And I'm excited because I'm going. Sorry, Chris.
Now go to the beach. There's going to be that on the beaches and hanging out in Tampa, just kind of kicking it. Make sure you go to some meetings now.
Yeah, I am. That's what I was saying. They're going to say, Rhonda, where you been? I've been on the beach now. And then of course we had our networking event on last Thursday at what was the 14th? Is it 4th Street in Louisville? What's the name of it?
413.
Yeah, 413. It was an awesome event. We had a great time networking. So if you're getting memberships, to making sure that we are able to link arms together, as we always say, and be able to, do the work of NAREB and affordable housing. So if you are not a member, even at a North Texas division or Dallas chapter or any NAREB city or chapter out there, please join. And you do not have to be a real estate agent, a realtor, as they say. Anybody that touches real estate, you can be a appraisal, a lender as myself. You can be insurance agent like Chris, or anyone that touches the real estate market. We ask that you come out and no matter where you are, and connect to a NAREB chapter.
And we actually encourage people who not even touching, but you want to learn. You just want to learn and to be a part, because I actually encourage a lot of people. You hear people talking about they want to flip houses, invest, and doing all these different things. And I said the P word. You have a plethora of people.
Plethora of information.
Yeah, people within the organization, and in some of the subjects we talk about. And the thing is, it's free with the cost of your membership, but the membership is pretty nominal, and the information that you get is invaluable. And talking about the appraisers or talking about that, and then you, like I said, Roz is a realtor, Rhonda's a lender, I'm an insurance person. We bounce stuff off each other. It's not a competition, and that's one thing I like about this organization. If you've heard Rhonda say that on many occasions, where she reach out to Nicole or Angela Miller, or somebody who kind of ask questions. Me and Kelly now, sometimes we bounce stuff off each other,
right,
and everything. Like I tell people, there's enough business out there for everybody.
Exactly.
And same thing with Raj, she bounces stuff, to different realtors. And then once again, we bounce stuff off of each other. And that's what's the beauty about this organization, unselfish people just trying to look, go forward and making things happen, not only for ourselves, but for, for the body as well. And this platform that we have is just a phenomenal platform as well for us to have, to be able to share the information that we have, and just to bring people on to help us grow. And it's funny, as long as we've been doing this together, and as long as we've known each other together, you guys might seem surprised sometimes about somebody might say something like, man, I'll talk to you all the time. And then, you throw nuggets out there about something I didn't know. That's why I thought for a minute, I thought she said, go Summer. I thought maybe she throwing a new term. I was like, hold on. I was going to say, explain it, but these old ears were hearing the wrong thing,
You just throwing shade, Chris. You just throwing shade.
When she said, I kind of jumped up. I was like, well, she got no attention on that one. So, but that's what the beauty of the organization is, for people to join. We have a Tarrant County organization. In fact, it's funny. I was talking to this other young lady. She's in the insurance we connected. She's with NAREB. She's in Alabama,
Mhm.
you know, and we're talking about, you know, doing different things, you know, potentially do some things together and stuff like that. Although I'm licensed for Texas, she's from Alabama, but still, you know, it's just the fact, you know, be able to, and she shares some nuggets with me about some stuff she's doing, you know, and she's with Allstate as well. And she was kind of, as long as I've been doing this, she was throwing some stuff out to me. And I was like, whoa, I need to start. And I thought, you know, we all do well, but we always have room for improvement. And she threw some stuff out there that I wasn't even doing. That I think I'm doing pretty good. So it actually helped me to go to another level, you know. So
and that's what it's all about.
maybe exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Ross, you was gonna say something. I saw you doing like this. You was like, you know how the double dutch, the
Yes.
rope you was trying to do like this. You ready?
Well, y'all might have to pass me till I get this coffee.
We got all choked up. See, she heard me talk. I got all choked up now.
I know it. But it is great to be able to, like you say, be able to link arms and be able to coordinate our efforts to serve the greater community, as we say. But Chris, kind of tell us, you know, and I mean, Ross may say, can you share anything that's been, Ross, I think you didn't get yourself together. You may want to go ahead and.
You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Is anything that's you know, just like for me, and I'll share my little nuggets, is that one of the things I did a video on manufactured homes, and now because of affordable housing, since we're on that subject, is now that especially manufactured homes are one of the keys now to affordable housing. And I had shared a video about some of the restrictions that FHA and VA had removed. But one of the things I wanted to say about FHA manufacturing homes is that now that you can actually have the land connected to the loan, because I know we've been in the past and said, okay, manufactured home, that the land cannot be leased, but now the land can be leased, and it has to be at least a 3-year lease, and it also have to be an agreement with the manufacturer to show that it has the 180 days that the property has to be, the home has to be on the property. So it's some great changes that's coming with manufacturing homes and being able to, and I know that's all due to affordable housing and making sure that we do have the option to make sure that we are homeowners, and just like tiny houses for manufacturing homes as well. So that's great news about the lease being able to, the land being leased.
It's a good thing too, because I know sometimes we can't do it through Allstate. We have sister companies, that we can use sometimes to do that as well. So it's, you know, a strong possibility that those houses can be insured. I know some companies at one time they shied away from that, you know, and everything, but I have the capability of, you know, finding not resource, but, you know, some of the sister companies that we deal with too, that, you know, I'll be able to help out with that, which is huge, you know, because there are certain stipulations, like you said, when you're dealing with manufactured homes or mobile homes and things like that, you know, how they have to be, I won't say the foundation, but how they have to be set up, I guess, for lack of better terms, in order to qualify to be, because they have to have certain stipulations that, although it's a manufactured home, there have to be certain qualifications on how it has to be on the land, or has to be.
Yeah, manufactured home, it has to be affixed to the property. It cannot be like a mobile trailer where you're moving it from one location to another. So it has to be real property. And it has to be affixed to the land, to the property.
I think it's kind of similar to that. If you're going to be trying to insure something like that, I think certain stipulations you have to look into to make sure. And of course, you just have to look at the guidelines and things like that to make sure it's a fit and everything like that. But that's, that's what we're here for, to try to figure it out. And then my thing is this: if I can't do it, or I'll try to find somebody who can. And that's the key too. If you're not able to do something, because that's the sad thing about it for some people, and I know you guys are the same way. Some people think if I can't get it, they have that stinking thinking where if I don't get it, I want nobody to have it, And my mind says, if I can't get it, I want to make sure they get the person who gets taken care of. I'll try to get them to the person who can do it, And that's kind of the mindset you have to have. You have to have a selfless mindset, to where, if you can't do something, and like I say, once again, don't be ashamed to say you can't do it.
Can't do it. Right.
You can't be ashamed, because to me, that brings even another level of credibility to people. People, because I'm quick to say, if I'm not sure, I say I don't know, but let me find out. Now, you
Exactly.
say I don't know, and you don't offer any kind of resolution, or so you're gonna find out.
That's something different, right?
That's something different. But if I don't know something, I'm not ashamed to tell somebody I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'll find somebody who can help me with that, or I get the correct information from you, or I give them somebody to get in contact with to see if that person can help them out, and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I
that's
want
the
to make
thing.
a correction real quick. I'm sorry because
Go
I want
ahead.
to make sure it's the 180 days is that the manufacturer or and I don't want to say builder because it's not a builder, but the manufacturer of the mobile home has to give 180 days before you release or unexecute the contract. So for the say
Gotcha.
it's a
Okay.
3-year lease, they have to give at least 180-day notice that they're going to terminate the contract. So I want to make sure I clarify that because I would say before it's being built on it, but it's because of the lease that it's 180 days. So make sure I do clarify that.
Now I want to go back to what you said about the tiny homes. You said you do tiny homes too. You said,
No, I don't do title.
oh,
And that's a great thing. We need, and just like manufactured homes, all lenders do not do manufactured homes. So you have to find a lender as myself that able uh, to finance manufactured home because it's lender specific.
why do you think some lenders don't want to deal with a manufactured home?
I think because of it's too much related to a mobile property, and some just don't want to do it. And I can't say why 100%. I can just tell you what I think. It's because it's too close to a mobile home.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off here real quick, Rhonda. I think Rhonda's gonna have to drop off everything. She has some technical issues and everything. So,
Oh,
sweetie,
okay. No, Rob, don't leave.
but
Okay. Okay, but we're like 6 minutes into it. So Rob, if you drop off, we got you covered, okay? I think that means okay. But yeah, so in that instance, I think it's just like any lender. There's some lenders that have different guidelines as
uh,
far as when it comes to your credit score. There's some lenders that will you have to have a 600 credit score for FHA or a 640, and then there's some lenders that they'll go down to 580 on FHA. So it's all lender specific and what they're wanting to do, and that's what we call overlays. FHA or VA or conventional financing have their own guidelines. That
right,
hey, these are our guidelines, and that's what we would do. We won't buy the loan or won't insure the loan if you don't do that. But then there's also lenders put their own overlay on it to be able to lower the risk of borrowers when it comes to lending. So that's how it works.
I was just wondering about that. Because I tell people, a lot of times, which is not surprising, because like even with insurance, like I had a guy call me the other day about something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it was something we couldn't do, and he kept going on and on about if that other company can do something, how come you can't do it? Blah blah blah. But come to find out, I actually called some of my friends from other companies. They said they couldn't do it either. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew I could do it. I said, hey, let me get you to somebody who can. He said, I just want to deal with you. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, what I did, I called my buddies from from other companies, and I was like, hey, do you guys do X, Y, and Z? They're like, no, we don't do that either. So I know where this gentleman was getting his information from, but he was just
Mm-hmm.
really insistent on it. He said he could talk to somebody that they said they could do it. And then, and I actually even told him, I said, the thing is, I said, I know I can't do it. I said, if it's a situation that is something you really need, I said, I never want to lose a customer, but if it's something that's going to be beneficial for you and your
Oh,
family and your
absolutely.
household, if that's something you think
Mm-hmm.
you need to do, I understand.
Yeah. And just like, for instance, we had a conversation where I was reading a email from when I had a bar that has wanted down payment assistance, but her income overly exceed the maximum income. And she was talking as if they said that another lender said that she could qualify for down payment assistance. And it may be where that particular lender have their own internal down payment assistance program or first time home buyers program. So if they do, then the first thing I want to do is make sure that the buyer gets into a home. And that option is to go to another lender because they may be able to supply them with what they need as far as to help them with financing or closing costs, then by all means. But as our down payment assistance program, if you make $130,000 a year, you more than with for a person, a family of one, then you're not going to be able to
So you said
support.
it was a family of
Of
one,
one to two.
one or two. Okay,
Yeah, and typically that's like 90 something thousand. Depends on what program. It can be between 84 to 90 something thousand, depending what state program that you're using for 1 to 2 family. But of course, when it goes up to 3 to 4, the income increases.
gotcha. So yeah, that's a good thing to figure. He said, and I'm glad. I know I sound like a broken record when you sound redundant, but once again, that's the key to make sure that the customer gets taken care of. That's the
Yes,
most
that's it.
important paramount
Yep,
thing. That's the
that's
most
it.
important paramount thing,
Yeah.
because I was looking at certain situations, scenarios that they were coming down the pike with us and everything, just with in the industry as a whole. So I always try to make sure I stay abreast of what's happening too, because from an educational standpoint,
Right, right.
I'm really big on that, to make sure I understand what's going on, the dynamics of my industry. And once again, I kind of like Rod said a few minutes ago, I know enough to be dangerous about some of these other entities, but once again, I've talked to you guys so much, that I understand the dynamics of a lot of things that go on the home buying process and things like I said, what you guys do from a mortgage standpoint and for a realtor. I don't have a license, so I don't go down that path with them. But then sometimes they say certain things to me. I'm like, you might want to,
Yeah,
recheck.
you may want to check on that one.
You might want
Right.
to check on that because sometimes I know, and I don't know if the person doesn't know,
Mm-hmm.
or or once again, they just try to,
Yeah.
just try and get the business.
Yeah, and
And
that's our job to educate, Chris. That's what
education.
that is
Was it
to
consultation and
educate
what?
with
Consultation education, but that's huge. That's important, to talk to people. And I'm gonna kind of hit on the claims thing for a little bit, because going back to the home process, and same thing for auto. But since we're talking about homes today, it's one thing that happens a lot of times that people don't realize. Excuse me, I'm about to be like Ross now, getting choked up here.
You get jumped up.
Getting choked up. But about claims, I gotta tell people, call your insurance agent and talk to your insurance agent about your policy if something to go wrong. So, case in point, say if a hailstorm came through today, your roof gets pelted, and you think you have some damage or something like that. Reach out to your agent, so that you can have a discussion. Because one of the things we want to talk about first and foremost before filing the claim, do you meet your deductible? You want to have somebody come out, not the actual somebody from the company come out, but you might want to get a third party person to come out and check it out, like a roofer or a contractor to come check it out first to see if it's enough damage, to substantiate filing the claim, because people don't realize that when you call the insurance companies directly, what happens, they have to document that you called in. So if they come, you call in to them directly, they come out and take a look, and they see it's not enough damage, you'll be assessed with a zero pay claim, meaning you still have a claim that's a zero payout.
But it's still a claim. But it's still a claim.
But too many zero pay claims can hurt you as well, because you're looking at frequency from that standpoint. I had a customer that I had to write into a sister company, excuse me, for a little bit, for a year, because he had too many claims. And what happened was pristine, everything was great. And I'm like, well, why is he getting rejected? Well, come to find out, he had too many claims. He said, Chris, the reason I was filing those claims was because he was having the right thought process, but calling the wrong people. He said, I thought, I just want to make sure my property was okay and everything was intact. He said, you have the right thought process, but you were calling the wrong people. So you should
call your agent first.
Should call the agent, or have some like a roofer or contractor come out and assess the damage and to see what the situation was. So the lesson learned.
Okay. Well, let's do our round
robin. Well, this is ain't no round robin today. It's a back-to-back robin today, since there's two of us left. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for joining us on today. We're realtors. We're realtors linking arms together and being able to move everyone forward to home ownership through affordable housing. But my name is Rhonda Hutchison, and I'm the Loan Lioness. I'm a residential mortgage lender, and I'm powered by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. I do everything lending. And even if you have a lender and you just want to ask me questions, now don't call me every day and ask me a question, but if you have a question, or if you're looking to purchase now or in the future, give me a call. I'm here to help at 214-856-3747. Once again, that's 214-856-3747. And my name is Rhonda Hutchison, and I'm the Lone Lioness.
And they sit down around robbing a back-to-back robbing a day.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Ziegler with the Ziegler Agency Allstate, located in Frisco, Texas, serving the DFW Metroplex and the whole state of Texas.
Texas, yeah.
And once
From
again,
Amarillo to Amarillo. To Amarillo.
Hey, Amarillo, if it's in the borders of Texas, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, El Paso,
It don't matter.
Central Texas, Buda, Texas, Tyler, wherever. If it's in the state of Texas, I can take care of your insurance needs. But reach out to me at 214-870-4269. Like I said, I do the personal lines like your home, your auto, your renters, your boats, and your toys like that. But I do financial products as well, commercial and business insurance, and some other things also. But reach out to me if you have any questions that I can be one to consult you in that aspect. And with that being said, on behalf of Laura Washington and Roz with Arbrook Realty, we thank you guys for being with us today. We'll see you on the second Tuesday of next month and the fourth Tuesday of next month. And you guys have a blessed day, and we will be talking to you soon.
Okay. Have a blessed day, you guys.